Okay, so this is a video for the multi-view drawing of the wedge from Multiview Set 1. So here's the wedge that we're going to draw. Here you can see that we are given the front view, which is right here, and the right view. When this drawing is done, we'll have the front view, the right view, as well as the top view. The very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to block this thing out, meaning I'm going to make 3 rectangles that is going to be the front view, that's 5 3/8, that's our width, by 2 5/8, that's our height. My second rectangle is going to be 1 7/8, that's our depth, by 2 5/8, that's our height. And my third rectangle is going to be the top view up here, which is going to have the same width, so 5 3/8, and the same depth as the right view by 1 7/8. So that's the first thing I need to do, is go ahead and create these 3 views. So here we go. Here's my AutoCAD. A couple things that you want to make sure that are on are ortho. You're going to want that on. So if I hit the F8 button, you can see down here, you see ortho goes on and ortho goes off. So my ortho is on. All that means is when I draw a line, it's a perfectly horizontal or perfectly vertical line when ortho is on. If I hit F8 and now I turn on line, now my line can go at any angle. So I like ortho on for this. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and draw the rectangle. It's 5 3/8 by 2 5/8. So I'm going to start with the rectangle tool. I'm going to click 5 3/8, 5-3 divided by 8, tab, and the height is 2 5/8. So 2-5 divided by 8. And there's my first rectangle. Okay, so that is going to be the front view. I'm going to just kind of block it out, and now I'm going to draw the right side view. When I draw the right side view, I want the space between to be 1 inch. So I'm just going to draw a line off of here that's 1 inch apart. So that's how far my views are going to be spaced apart. And remember, my right side view is going to have the exact same height. So I can put my mouse right there and just let it sit there for a second, and you'll see this little green line. Now I can click, and I remember that my depth is 1 7/8. So 1-7 divided by 8. Hit enter, and I just bring this down, hold my mouse there for a second, and there it is, and I close my rectangle. And now that I'm done with this, I can delete this line right here, and there's my front view and my right view blocked out. I'll do the same thing for the top. I'll draw a 1 inch line right here, so 1, enter. I'll draw a line straight over, goes here because these have the same width, and then it also has the same depth of 1 7/8, so 1-7 divided by 8. Come back over here, put my mouse right there for a second, click, click, and close, and now I can delete this space saver. Okay, so there's my front view here, here's my right view, here's my top view. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look and see what's next in the wedge. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put the dimension of 5 3/8, 2 5/8, and 1 7/8, so we can make sure that yours is correct. Okay, so 5 3/8, I'm going to go ahead and hit dimension. 5 3/8 is going to be for our top view, so that's 5 3/8. Here's the 1 7/8. Oop, missed it. Here's the 1 7/8 right here, and here is the height of 2 5/8. So you want to check those dimensions. By the way, if you want to turn these into fractions, which I want you to do, here's what you need to do. Hit the letter D and the space bar, and up will come your dimension settings. You're going to go to modify. You're going to go to the primary units tab right here and just change this to fractional. And you will see that all of your dimensions will now be in fractional form, so you can kind of have a better look at what this looks like. So now you see the 1 7/8, the 5 3/8, and the 2 5/8. Okay, so rewind that part if you need to see that again. All right, so I'm going to kind of leave this up. I'm going to snap this guy over here so I can look at both of these at the same time, and I'm going to make some, I'm going to do some things over here. All right. So what I'm going to do, since this is a rectangle, I'm going to select the rectangle, and this is one object. So when I select these things, it's only one object. Where up here, since I drew this with lines, these are all separate. So how do you turn a rectangle like this into separate lines? You select it, and you choose Explode, which is this button right here. So when I choose Explode, that now turns these into separate lines. Why do I need to do that? because I need to have this line. I need to find this point that's 3/4 of an inch away, and I'll show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to use this button right here, which is called offset. So I go ahead and click on offset, and I type in 3/4, 3 divided by 4, enter. And I want to offset this line right here. I click, and I go over, and it puts a line right there. Okay? And the reason why I need to do that is this is where this angled line starts right here. So I now need to turn ortho off. And what I need to do is I need to look. If I'm going straight down, the angle that you see to the right of my cursor says 90 degrees. Okay? Here, the angle says 180 degrees. Well, if you look, mine has to be 60 degrees from the 180. So you watch that go down. So this basically needs to go to 120. Okay? So I'm going to draw a line that's longer. So I'm going to draw a line that's 5. And then I'm going to hit tab. So I go there and I have to type in 120 for 120 degrees. And I hit enter. Okay? This line is way too long, so I can trim it off. The command for trim is TR, enter, enter. Hit enter twice. And then I can trim that off. Also, I don't need this line anymore. I just needed that line to get that point right there. So that guy is done. Okay? If you want to check your dimension, you can go ahead and dimension this guy. Okay, so I can click on dimension, and I can dimension from here. I can dimension from here to here, and you can see that that's 3/4 just like it is over here. Okay? I'm going to do the same thing going the other direction. So I'm going to offset once again, 3/4, 3 divided by 4. Offset this line right here. Boom. Click on line. Again, I'm going to bring this down. I have to look at this. This now is 0 degrees, if you can look at my cursor. So I've got to come down to 60. So again, I'm going to go a distance of 5, tab, 60. And you can see that line right there. It's too long, so I'm going to trim it off. TR, enter, enter. Trim that guy off. Oh, I messed up. This line should have been 3/4. This line should have went from this point right here. I had it going from the wrong point. So 5, tab, 60. And that's what that should look like right there. TR, enter, enter. Trim this off. And I can delete this line right here. And so that's what it looks like up here. If you want to add this dimension of 3 7/8 from here to here. Oop, missed it. From here to here. We could certainly add that 3 7/8 dimension as well. So you can see that. If you want to add an angular dimension, here's how you do that. Here's dimension right here. You go right here where it says linear, and you change this to angular. And now I can click on this line here, and click on this line here, and there's the 60. I hit enter. I can click on this line here, and this line here, and there's the 60. Yes, I do want to see those on your drawing. Okay? As far as what the top view would look like. Okay, as far as what the top view would look like. Well, first of all, they have a line that's 15/16 over on the right view. Let's finish the right view first. So I'm going to do the same thing. Offset, 15/16, 15 divided by 16, and I'm going to offset this line 15/16. The only problem is this line here is an object line. Over here, it's a hidden line. That's okay. That's easy to fix. I click on the line. I go up here to my layers. I find where all of my layers are located, and I actually don't have this one with my different layers on here. So I would need to put my layers on here and change this to a hidden layer. So if you haven't done this already, you're going to need to add your layers. If you have done this already, all you need to do is just go ahead and change this to the hidden layer. So I can go to my layer properties, and I'm just going to add a new layer, and we'll just type in hidden. I'm only going to put my hidden one on here right now because that's really all I'm going to need. Load my line type. Load my hidden line. Click OK. And that should be A-OK. And so that's all I'm going to need right here. I'm also going to add in my object layer. This one is going to be white, or we'll call it black. Click OK. This one is going to be a regular continuous line. This is the one that we made to 0.70, 0.7 millimeters, like you're using a 0.7 millimeter pencil. And that one should be OK. So now I can close out of this. Okay, so this guy right here, I'm going to go to layers and I'll change it to hidden. And now you can see that that's what that should look like. Okay, so there's my front view and my right side view done. I'm going to actually make one more layer. I'm going to make a dimension layer as well. So we're going to go ahead and go here. And we'll make this dimension. We'll make the dimension layer blue. And that's going to be about it. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to highlight all of this stuff. I'm going to put everything on the object layer. Expand this. I'm going to put everything on the object layer. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to select all of the dimensions just by clicking on them. And I'm going to put all of the dimensions on the dimension layer. And then I'm going to put the hidden line here on the hidden layer. And that's what that should look like. Okay, now we've got to figure out what exactly does this right side view look like. Okay, so there's a couple ways that you can go about this. We should hopefully be able to figure out that this line, there's something going on here with this line going up. I'm going to turn ortho back on. There's something here with this line going up. And there's something here with this line going up as well. And something here with this line going up. This is all stuff that's happening on the right side view. The other thing when you look at the Word document is you can kind of see this shape right here. We need to know where this guy goes, and it's 15/16. So you have a couple different options. Number one, you can do a miter line and go up 15/16, or you can just offset either the front or the back line, it doesn't matter, of 15/16. So I type in 15/16, and I'm going to offset this line right here, and there's the 15/16 line. Okay? And so what you actually need to do is, now that I've projected all these things up, is kind of figure out, okay, what exactly does this guy look like? So when we look at this shape, you can see right here kind of what this should look like. So I can hit trim over here. I'll put it so you can see both of these. So I can hit trim, TR, enter, and this line would not be here. This line would not be here. So that's kind of what this looks like right there. Okay? I would be able to see this. I would not be able to see this. This guy would get cleaned up right there. This would get cleaned up right there. This would get cleaned up right there. This would get cleaned up right there. And now I can trim off these guys going down here as well. And I could delete these as well. So this is what your top view would look like for this one right here, because you'd be able to see this going down. This is slanting from here to here. This is slanting from here to here, and there's nothing in the middle. If you look at the isometric view of the wedge, you should be able to tell that. Okay, so I want to make sure we have all of our dimensions. We have our height. We have our overall width. We have our overall depth. We have all of this taken care of. This is the wedge taken care of. Okay, so make sure you go ahead and save that, and we'll go from there.